With the fall of the Sega Dreamcast, Sega officially decided to go third party. And with that came unthinkable choices, even partnering with longtime rival Nintendo. Though admittedly this didn't amount to much other than re-releases, game compilations, the works. However, someone at Sonic Team decided that the Blue Blur wasn't done just yet. And this time, he wasn't going to be alone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sonic Retrospective, where we venture into the first original mainline third-party Sonic game, Sonic Heroes. So yeah, elephant in the room. This took a lot longer to do. Well, that's because technological limitations. I recently had to move into a new apartment, and personal circumstances forced me to get rid of a lot of my old gaming consoles. Most importantly for Sonic Heroes, my Wii with GameCube backwards compatibility. However, thanks to my best friend named Ujimai for personal privacy reasons, I learned how to do emulators. Yeah, I had to emulate Sonic Heroes. Ujimai introduced me to RetroArch, and that's where it does. So yeah, Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog, and Sonic Colors, provided that they all work properly, will be emulated. Sonic 06 does not have that luxury though, so I probably am going to have to hunt down a few things in order to finally record that, whether I want to or not. However, we do not talk tech, we came to talk Hedgehog, and my history of Sonic Heroes is actually very simple. I was very interested in it when I first got my GameCube, and I played Sonic Adventure 2, I played the heck out of it, and then I saw this new Sonic game coming out, and I visited its website over and over and over and over again. It was ridiculous. But, was it worth the hype? Let's find out. Sonic Heroes is the start of Sega Sonic Team using, gimmicks to promote Sonic games. The main gimmick of this game is you get to control 3 characters at once, and each of them belong to a class. The class system, speed, flight, and power, respectively, is actually stuck around Sonic games to this very day. In fact, the recent Team Sonic Racing even has that, though it replaced flight with technique type. I don't get it either. But let's start off with the teams. There are 4 of them. Team Sonic, Team Dark, Team Rose, and Team Chaotix. And as I said, there are 3 formations: speed, flight, and power. Speed characters, Sonic, Shadow, Amy, and Espio, move faster, can homing attack, ram through enemies with Rocket XL, although I've only ever found one use for that in the entire game, and can use a tornado type attack, which launches enemies into the air and blows off enemy shields if need be. Flight characters, Tails, Rouge, Cream, and Charmy, can fly into the air for a short time and use something called Thundershoot, which destroys enemies or stuns them depending on what level you are. And I'll get to the level up system in a second. And have a specialty attack that doesn't really do much, to be completely honest. However, last but not least are my favorite kind of characters, the power characters. Knuckles, E123 Omega, Big the Cat, and Vector. This is my personal favorite class for a variety of reasons. They can smash through obstacles, do more damage to enemies, because this is the first game that actually introduced health bars to enemies, though that didn't last long. Glide off certain fans, and have very cool combo moves. They get more and more awesome with each level on the level up. Each character has 3 orbs by their formation gauge. Level 3 is their maximum power and maximum potential. Speed characters get a souped up homing attack, which does a lot of wind-based damage. Flight characters make their thunder shoots more destructive. Power characters make their combo moves even more destructive, and even sometimes a little weird, like Vector's exploding bubbles of death. I both love and hate this system. On the one hand, it's a good way for you to not wreck house immediately as you walk into certain stages with your characters. However, on the other hand, it just feels unnecessary. Sometimes it's okay to be flashy, but this is just sort of a mixed bag for me. Finally, there's the Team Blast. This destroys all enemies on screen and does major damage to bosses and have their own active effects while the gauge is running. Team Sonic is the coolest looking, but has the most useless actor effect. Knuckles launches Sonic and Tails in the air while Tails smashes Sonic with a massive thunder shoot, which makes Sonic go nuts on the screen. You can even play with goes with the control stick, which is so satisfying. However, all this does is give Sonic that crazy loop-de-loop homing attack move out of game, and it's kinda useless. I've never ever found a proper time to use it. Team Dark has Shadow stopping time with Chaos Control, while Rouge carries up Omega, who blasts a giant laser. It's nice and flashy, and the effect's okay too. Temporarily stopping time, but sometimes it can be a bit of a mixed bag, especially if there's a certain area that needs to be unlocked, but can't be unlocked because, well, time's frozen. Team Roses is busted. It looks fine and kind of cute in a weird way, but it levels up Amy and Cream, gives a shield, and invincibility. Team Chaotix, though, is hilarious. They start singing or playing music, and apparently they are so bad, not even robots can withstand it. They get rings for each robot they kill, and while the gauge is draining, they can get even more. Which is useful because then you can refill the cage even faster, which means you can use Team Blast again. Now that we got that covered, it's time to talk about the stages themselves, which, that sounds a little familiar. Didn't I used to do that for the old Genesis style reviews? Well, actually, yes. There are 14 stages, 7 boss stages, and special stages, and each team shares them. Now, the reason why I think this was done is to sort of combine the old with the new. Because, well, this is the first third-party main game, and I guess they kind of wanted to attract old school players to it, as well as the new school. Whether or not it was successful is up to you. And when I say there are 14 stages, they're basically 2 acts, but each stage has a different name. And in Act 2, you can get a key that will get you through special stages. Before we talk about the stages themselves, I've been holding this in ever since I played it, and this time I can't blame it on frame rate. The special stages suck! At first, it's rather straightforward. You have to chase the Chaos Emerald down a really cool sparkly loop and collect these little spears that let you do a dash attack that helps you get to the emerald faster. Outrace the emerald a little bit, and then you get the Chaos Emerald. However, the control feels broken, and it's so easy to get stuck on turns, go up ceilings, you name it. While I still maintain Sonic CD special stages are worse because at least I can beat these, that doesn't make them good. And I'm kind of glad they scrapped special stages for a long time after this. But onto the stages themselves. I'll give a quick overview in which team I think has the best version. However, I do have one complaint that I think needs to be addressed because it exists throughout all the games and it's super annoying. No one shuts up!
Hey guys, spread out! They never give up, do they?
Let's change formations to sideways from here.
Alright,
I'll take it from here!
use Thunder Shoot to bring down those flying enemies. I'll deliver the final blow.
Bad bugs everywhere. Feels good.
Hey, have you seen any hermit crabs in this area? There may be too many of them.
I mean, it's fine with hint boxes and the sound effects for power formation because it really shows it's hitting hard, but I don't need to be told every 5 seconds of who you think should handle this or the repetitive dialogue that repeats over and over and over again. It gets kind of annoying, is all I'm trying to say. However, I digress. Our first stage is Seaside Hill. It's a fun little stage of action and adventure. It makes a really good first level because you get used to the gameplay mechanics of each team without it being overbearing. It's a fun first level, and the best team to go through it is Team Sonic. It really is their ballpark, and I can see why this stage is used for Sonic Generations and has been used repeatedly over and over. Ocean Palace is the Act 2 for this stage. It's a giant palace with stone doors you have to smash through. Team Chaotix gets the win here. The mission they have is straightforward, and you get to really experience the wacky yet really cool mechanics they have. There's also something really cool about boss fights in this game. Depending on which character you finish with, they get the ending mock. And while Knuckles, please take it away with the Egg Hawk.
Man, he's sure one stubborn scientist.
I'm not ready to give up just yet!
That's the spirit, Tails. Shit! Shit! Initiate Rookery attack! Is that all you got? Shit! 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 What's the matter, Eggman? Got nothing left?
This isn't the end! All right! Ready for the junk pile.
I think that speaks for itself. Next is Grand Metropolis. This is a fun stage of high-speed moving platforms, and the speed formation is a blast here. Team Bark is a ball to play. Fun, high speed, and overall joy. I don't have enough praises to say for its Act 2, though. Power Plant is boring, mostly because you're practically glued to fly formation. I didn't mention it earlier, but fly formation is the slowest formation, and honestly, out of the three, it's my least favorite one. Even when certain teams try to add exciting stuff. However, that's why Team Rose wins this one. It's over and done with rather quickly. After a team battle...
Yes!
We go to Casino Park, aka the Casino Glamour level, and I think we just saw whoever makes these levels in the Sonic team their ultimate fantasy. Because according to the game, the entire city is made to look like this. The buildings and roads are like a pinball table. The red here must be non-existent. I like this stage though because you can play favorites if you have a favorite character on your team. And you can switch to them and kind of play with them in pinball mode the entire time. There are very few times where you need to be, out of pinball mode and zooming around. Speaking of just enjoying yourself though, Team Chaotix wins this one because their mission is all about getting those rings. And they're the only ones who can access the secret VIP area. Next after that is its Act 2, Bingo Highway. It adds more of the same, but with a bingo mechanic to it. Team Sonic wins this one. Fast but fair gameplay with nothing more to add to that. Plus you get to play favorites and, well, have Rad Red take off and have a blast. After a gauntlet fight of robots, we go to Rail Canyon, and Rail Canyon is right. It's covered head to toe in rails, and you have to grind like crazy here. And grinding's kind of awkward, because it varies on formation. Speed formation has you go faster, but has less balance. Power formation has more control, but you're slightly slower. And fly formation is painfully slow, but has the most control. And if you fall off the rail, most of the times you can fly up to save yourself. The stage itself, though, is kind of just okay. It's fast-paced, and you really need to pay attention to what you're doing. I think the winning team is Team Dark. It's difficult, but not overly so. Plus, the banter between them is kind of funny. Act 2 is the bullet station. More of the same, but it adds a sort of high-speed cannonball mechanic. And Team Dark gets a complete sweep of both stages. They're both super fun and a blast. Next boss fight is the Egg Albatross. My advice for this one is to wail on Eggman with the speed formation. It's the only one that keeps up with the ship, and while you're wailing on it more and more, it destroys it the fastest. Best team for this fight is Team Sonic for two reasons. One, it's Sonic taking on Eggman the way it should be, and two, there isn't much stuff in your way while you're doing your wailing. After that is Frog Forest, a fun stage where these froggy-looking frog giants will make rainfall if they spot you. It's fun to grind on the ivy. I love the music for the stage. Just have a listen, it's so relaxing. However, because of the frogs, Team Chaotix actually wins this one, because their mission is to get through it without being detected, which can lead you to having to think fast on your feet and use SPF special ability, or else you'll get detected fast. Frogs are giant, so it makes sense for them to spot you very easily. Act 2 is Lost Jungle, which adds variety because now there are frogs you don't want to go off. These are the black frogs, which will summon acidic rain, which kills all the plant life. However, it does leave the comedy where giant fruit kills plants on the enemy. Team Tart gets the win because the stage is a lot of fun. Oh, and there's a team battle after that.
One less supporter. Now I shall destroy you all.
Now, you would think of this next stage, Hang Castle would probably be my favorite because it's horror-based, and I used the music to help with my Carnival of Terror aspect when I did Friendship is Terror reviews. But it's not, actually. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of fun, and it's good little spooky, weird things, and the interactions of how the world acts is really cool. Plus, the entire world flipping upside down is awesome, which is why I'm using the song as the background music for this. Best team is Team Sonic, mostly because I love Sonic's reaction to all this crazy weirdness. After that, though, is Mystic Mansion. A confusing stage that actually drives me nuts because it has the worst level in the game for me from Team Chaotix. And it's kind of long, plotting, and annoying. The winner of the stage is Team Rose by a mile. Their stage is far less convoluted, actually fun, plus we get to take in the atmosphere more, and really enjoy the music. After that is a massive gauntlet known as Robot Storm. And after that gauntlet, we get to easily my favorite stage of the game, the Egg Fleet. I love every single mission from every single team on this level. And the lead in from every stage in the story is awesome. This is jumping ahead, and I'll probably repeat these. But since all these are awesome, and Eggman says the same thing every time, just cue the montage.
You fools must all have a death wish. Witness this invincible battleship built by the hands of a genius. Its power unmatched throughout the universe.
All right, Eggman, let's get this party started.
You'll regret this, Doctor.
Even if I'm not real, I'm still the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog.
If you want to fight, you've got one. Let's get that bloated.
Once we start a job, we finish the job. That's the policy. We're Team Chaotix.
The stage is epic and fun as all get out. It's hard to pick which team did it the best because it is my favorite stage. But since I have to pick a winner, I have to say it goes to Team Sonic because of their unique ending to the stage. But I will repeat, this is my favorite stage for each team. I honestly did replay this stage a lot as a kid. It doesn't help that it's also epic and has new enemies to fire giant laser beams too. It really feels like you're storming the base. Then after that is a tone shift. Final Fortress. It's a great fight. Honestly saying, the last 13 stages were the warm-up. Here's the final act. And again, Team Sonic is the best team. While all the others is good, Team Sonic has Sonic saying the most awesome thing Sonic has ever said in an exclusive section we'll get to when I cover their team. Finally is the main boss of the standard story, the Egg Emperor. And while the Egg Albatross and Egg Hawk are easy, this is fun in its own way. And yes, you can just use fly formation to disable the shield and just wail on them, which is what I did to sort of make things go any better. It's still not hard. It's still pretty hard when I get hit by Eggman. And it's kind of also hard not to die here. It's a really good final boss to wrap up each story. But if I wanted a personal recommendation, pick the formation you like the most and go for it. Just go for it and see if you can take him down without having to switch between any other formation. But since we're done with it, we'll switch to the teams themselves. We'll discuss unique aspects of their gameplay, and then we'll talk about their story immediately afterwards. Let's start up with the Blue Blooms team, appropriately called Team Sonic, which basically is the Genesis era team. Team Sonic is fast-paced gameplay that really uses the team system to its fullest. I have never once felt a certain formation gets more screen time than the others. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles makes the most sense to have on a team, and I have a lot of respect for their voice actors. And I should point this out, yes, sadly, this is the last mainline Sonic performance for Ryan Dunham. And also the last Eggman performance for Dean Bristow before his tragic death. And I'm going to say this right now, he did a great job as the good doctor, and went on a high note, in my personal opinion. Team Sonic's story begins with Sonic running around, being Sonic, enjoying his day, jumping around, and just having a blast. However, Tails approaches him, and Eggman makes a challenge. He brags that in 3 days, he'll completely conquer the world. Sonic smirks, and basically tells Eggman to bring it on, while Knuckles and Tails jump off and join him for the ride. In the manual, by the way, the reason why Knuckles is there is because he knows that if Eggman takes over the world, he's probably going to go for the Master Emerald again. Hey, logic! After going through Seaside Hill, they come face to face with Eggman and challenge him for a one-on-one battle. What's cool is that each team has a unique lead-in for each boss, aside from team battles, where they taunt Eggman. Team Sonic is the most unique because Eggman is directly challenging them. But after...
Shit! What's the matter, Eggman? Got nothing left? This isn't the end!
They go through Grand Metropolis as Sonic foreshadows one of the most funniest lines we'll ever get to, and we'll have to get it down the line. And Tails points out that Eggman has already started his invasion, showing he is serious about this. However, Team Sonic is blocked off at the point by Surprise Amy, with Cream and Big of all people. And she simply says there's no way out of marrying her. Wow, this is actually going to be kind of cool. Determined as all crazy Amy, someone who is vastly improved her speed and wants to prove herself to Sonic more than anything. This is going to be a really cool fight.
Sonic, give up. This time you're mine. I'll do my best.
Got it!
Amy, knock it off! There's no time to play!
Everybody, get out of the way.
Are you playing with that girl's heart again, Sonic?
Here we go. Why not just give up? You're starting to make me really mad.
Take this! Take this!
No!
Yes! Marriage? No way!
Before having some fun in Casino Park, Tails points out that they only have a day left, which is actually kind of brilliant, because it was day during Seaside Hill, it was day during Grand Metropolis, and it was night during Casino Park. It's a very clever detail, and I gotta admit, that's kind of impressive. And Eggman's taunt before Robot Carnival is awesome. After smashing through Robot Carnival, though, they rush down Rail Canyon. With not much time left, they have to really speed it up and challenge Eggman and end it once and for all. However, when they defeat the Egg Albatross, it's revealed that Eggman conned them. It was a trap to stall for time. And now Team Sonic rushes off again to make sure to liberate the world before Eggman does even more damage to it. Though, oddly...
Sonic, Knuckles, wait for me.
All life form data successfully copied.
After rushing through the jungle, they come face to face with someone they didn't expect to see. And it also turns out Sonic Team can't let this one go.
What was with that hedgehog that looked like my twin?
How? How do these two look alike? I'll say it in the Let's Play, and I'll say it in here. They look nothing alike. Is everyone racist to think that every male hedgehog looks alike? But you know what? Whatever. It's Sonic vs. Shadow, one of my favorite boss fights of all time. And not only that, it's Sonic's team against Shadow's team. This is gonna be amazing!
What was with that hedgehog that looked like my twin?
Annihilate.
Here.
Not the best mini Ritos you ever seen in a while.
Trap 1 supporter. Now I shall destroy you all.
Take this! Yes! Hey guys, chill out!
After Shadow and his team loses, they book it. And Sonic follows, also saying he saw Eggman going this way, which is why they're going through Hang Castle at all. Though Knuckles does playfully tease Tails, who's clearly terrified of this place.
But it's so spooky here!
Maybe that's the ghost of Shadow we saw earlier.
Woo! Stop it, Knuckles!
For Gauntlet and Mystic Mansion, they storm the Egg Fleet. And again, I don't care if I played this before, every lead into Egg Fleet is freaking epic.
You fools must all have a death wish. Witness this invincible battleship built by the hands of a genius. Its power unmatched throughout the universe.
All right, Eggman, let's get this party started.
Amazing. I did say, though, that during Final Fortress, Sonic has one of my favorite moments in the entire game. See, Team Sonic has to deal with a lot of giant lasers during its final stretch. And during the final stretch, Sonic says this.
Only 4 lasers? A hero's welcome.
Just gonna say it, badass. After confronting the Egg Emperor and smashing it to a million pieces, they successfully start a chain reaction that begins blowing up Eggman's fleet one by one. Sonic thanks Tails and Knuckles for all their help, and then bolts when he finds out Amy somehow followed him up here, as Knuckles and Tails laugh at his misfortune. Team Sonic's story is simple but basic. It's a cool standard battle to stop Eggman's plot with some twists and turns and foreshadowing along the way, for both good and for bad. It may be simple, but it's a fun ride from beginning to end. Next is my favorite team, which is ironic given that Knuckles was in the last team. Team Dark. There's nothing really to say about Team Dark's gameplay. Their stages are basically Team Sonic stages, but slightly harder. Where it excels, though, is the story. Our story begins with Rouge infiltrating Eggman's base. Turns out Eggman has some sort of secret treasure, and, well, Rouge being Rouge, she kind of wants it. And you know what? Given the fact that Dr. can afford all that metal to make giant bases and thousands of death robots, all completely functional, with a giant fleet and other armies, I would think this guy is unbelievably rich. Given that Rouge loves treasure and jewels, it's no wonder this piqued her interest. However, when she gets inside, she makes a shocking discovery. Shadow is alive! However, before Rouge has any time to process this, Shadow has to save her from gunfire. Okay, I ship it. Turns out what's starting the gunfire is E123 Omega, who makes his debut in this game, and Rouge decides to stop a fight between Shadow and Omega before this gets any worse. He realizes that all of them have a common goal. Shadow can't remember much, and Omega is angry at Eggman for locking him in the room, which is the funniest motivation ever for turning against your master. Rouge decides, you know what? They all have a common goal, so they unite to find Eggman and get what they want. Now, before I begin, I do notice the big plot hole here. You see, Shadow has lost his memory, and he has forgotten a lot of things. Big plot hole. Rouge was there in Sonic Adventure 2. She teamed with Shadow. She's also a spy. She looked up information. The thing is, though, it's okay because of who Rouge is. Rouge has a chance to steal a treasure beyond her imagination. So what's better for her? Have a motivated Shadow who wants to shake down Eggman for answers, or a non-motivated Shadow who won't care and just leave? After going through the Ocean Palace at most of the behest of Omega, who just wants to get it done and over with no distractions, they confront Eggman. Though Eggman said something a little weird.
Primary target detected. Destroy Dr. Eggman.
You must be Omega.
You would think you remember the killer robot who has sworn revenge against him. After Omega shows his power a little bit, they blaze through Grand Metropolis. They meet these strange guys who are just standing there for no reason and going on and on about some mysterious client. And Rouge suspects they're rival treasure hunters, so they decide to have a showdown. This is gonna be kind of cool.
Alright, then let's do it!
Here we go! I'll skip the doctor first.
I'll find Eggman's treasure first!
Eggman is mine. Get out of the way.
Let's go! Villain won't get off the hook that easily. Take this!
I'll take it! Oh, I'm really mad!
You should thank me for letting you live.
In all seriousness, though, that line was actually kind of cool. While going through Casino Park, with Omega getting increasingly annoyed because he just wants to kill Eggman as fast as possible, but Rouge, being Rouge, wants to play some slots beforehand, and Shadow is oddly on board with this. It's kind of cool seeing Shadow's fun side. Before the gauntlet, though, Shadow begs Eggman to tell him what's going on, but then Eggman drops an odd line.
And what about my memory?
Your memory? What memory? You have no past to remember.
After crushing the machines, Team Dark approaches what they believe to be Eggman's primary base. And before they face off against the Egg Albatross, I think this is what makes them a team.
We got him!
Capture him first. Then you can have your revenge, Omega.
Affirmative.
And that's something I like about Team Dark's story. They do build up their friendship. When the Egg Albatross falls, however, they discover something just as shocking. Another Shadow, with wires coming out of him. After Rouge asks if he's okay, Shadow just runs off. I still ship it. Though, this weird thing happens.
Ultimate lifeform data has been copied.
But running ahead, Team Sonic and Team Dark come face to face in the jungle, and Shadow having no clue who they are. But then again, this is Sonic against Shadow. This boss fight is gonna be awesome!
Not the best way to greet those you haven't seen in a while.
They look like my twin.
Take this! Ah! Take this! Yeah! Take this!
Maybe you remember us, Shadow? Dave!
Take this! Take this! Take this!
Got it!
Shit!
Maybe, let's go!
Just a fake. Like I thought.
After going through Hang Castle, with Shadow getting more and more confused about who he is, and parts of me kind of wants Rouge to just pull him over and say, hey, so this is who you are. They confront Eggman with a mighty wave, and they finally storm Eggman's fleet, Shadow leading the charge with this amazing quote.
You fools must all have a death wish. Witness this invincible battleship built by the hands of a genius. Its power unmatched throughout the universe.
You'll regret this, Doctor. Even if I'm not real, I'm still the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog.
When they finally storm the base, they come face to face with the Egg Emperor and flattens it. Omega's finally satisfied, seeing his creator in a pool of what looks to be like blood, but censored. It's kind of a lot of blood for him. As Rouge goes to see what Eggman's secret treasure is. And whoo boy! What a secret it is!
Now let's find that secret treasure.
When Rouge gets deflated, thinking that someone she could honestly call a friend, who she fought side by side with twice now, could just be a copy. Omega reminds her something. You can't have a clone without the original. When Rouge goes to Shadow complaining that she found quote-unquote nothing, Shadow laughs when she decides that she's just going to run off and steal the Master Emerald, since Knuckles is there and not near it. Shadow snarks towards her, but follows her anyways. Okay, last time. I ship it! Team Dark is my favorite story for a lot of reasons. It has a lot of mystery, and that ending leaves it very open-ended. Is this Shadow the real Shadow, or one of Eggman's machines? Eventually we do find out the truth in the future, but the main thing I like is how the friendship does grow during the game. The three had separate goals, but by the time they did become friends. And in fact, it's a very close friendship. Even now they're still teaming together. It's comparing the beginning to the end. Omega thought Shadow and Rouge were annoying, and actually warned that he would destroy them if they got distracted. Yet at the end, Omega, for no motivation other than Rouge is someone he fought with, comforts her when they're feeling down. Next is Team Rose. Team Rose is easy mode. They have unique things about them though. For example, Big's combos launch Amy and Cream at the enemies. They aren't attached to his fist or fishing rod. He also has a unique slam attack. Amy's tornado also travels. However, as I said, they're easy mode, which means they do start with the tutorial. The funny thing is though, if you play the teams in order like I did, you just went from normal to hard to easy. So when the tutorial takes place, you're just kind of like speeding through it. Team Rose's story begins oddly. She's looking at a photo of Sonic holding a Chow and Froggy. A gust of wind blows it away as Cream, making her non-portable game debut, grabs it but also gets blown away by a gust of wind as we see Big the Cat. Oh no. Big the Cat? Big the Cat? He's a lot better in this game. I am not kidding at all. And they decided to run off to find Sonic and get going. On the way to confront Eggman, who really does not take them seriously. Ironically though, they have the best version of the Egghawk fight because Big's attacks don't end the fight ridiculously quickly. So there's actually challenge for this. However, after they win, Amy has a sense that Sonic is in Grand Metropolis. And she's right, but has completely forgotten about the motivation. Turns out she's right, but has completely forgotten about the others' motives for finding Sonic. Amy's kind of a little bit selfish here. But, hey, you know what? It's interesting to see these ragtag groups of misfits that no one takes seriously against an experienced team from the Genesis era. Like, I mean, these are the three that took down the Death Egg!
Amy, knock it off! There's no time to play!
Sonic, give up! This time you're mine! Mr. Sonic, isn't Chakra with you?
Froggy, where are you?
Sonic, let's go on our honeymoon!
We're going through Casino Park. It turns out Sonic tricked Amy into getting away from her. I wonder what he did. In my mind, I think he kissed her, then bolted. After they have some fun at Casino Park, with Amy doing a callback to Sonic Adventure, which was kind of neat, they confront Eggman, who really can't believe he's still dealing with them. After he launches another gauntlet, but they still win. While grinding on the rail, Amy is now focused on helping her friends, which is a nice little touch because of how selfish what Amy was earlier. Especially after Big and Cream swear to find their respective missing friends. But however, after the destruction of the egg Albatross, it turns out to be nothing more than a trick. And I admit, this scene is kinda sad.
Hey, it's just a stupid copy!
Froggy, where are you? Let's go home.
Cheese, what's wrong? Chow. Yes. A chow nappy. But why? I'm not really sure, but betcha Dr. Eggman has something to do with it, and we're not gonna let him get away with it. Come on, let's get out of here.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, as I said before, Big the Cat improved a lot since his last outing. After bolting down the jungle, they come face to face with those three weirdos Team Dark had to deal with. And they're demanding cheese. Are they chow nappers? Team Rose isn't having any of it, especially Big. I've never seen him look that angry before in my life. And a heated brawl between two equally motivated teams? This is going to be so cool!
There's gotta be a major misunderstanding here, but we can't back down now.
We won't lose to a bunch of losers like you.
Not bad, but it won't be so easy from here on.
Sorry, but there's no time for this.
After going through the haunted castle, Eggman admits that he's the one who stole Froggy and Chocolate Chow. Angry and motivated, Team Rose demolishes through the storm and confronts Eggman on his battleship.
You fools must all have a death wish. Witness this invincible battleship built by the hands of a genius. Its power unmatched throughout the universe.
If you want to fight, you've got one. Let's get that bloated.
After brushing through and defeating Eggman and his Egg Emperor, oddly, Eggman turns into a puddle. And then we hear this.
Chaos data has been copied.
But hey, Cream and Big are happy. And Cream then spots Sonic and Amy bolts after him. Cream and Big happily reunited with their friends. Team Rose's story is fine. It's not anything to write home about, though. I do like the loyalty, plus this did redeem Big a lot. His voice still stinks, but you know what? He's still a lot better than Sonic Adventure. But then again, when you go from the bottom, you have nowhere else to go but up. It's fun to play. Honestly, nothing more I can really say about it than just it's fun. The final team on our list is Team Chaotix, which is a cute callback to Knuckles Chaotix 32X game. Team Chaotix's gameplay is about doing different extra missions, which involves finding things, destroying enemies, going through places undetected with Espio's skill of turning invisible when he uses his wind ability, and using Charmy's ability to activate special flowers, and Vector's really cool power-ups attacks, like I said before, exploding bubbles of death. These missions range from being super fun to very aggravating. Our story begins with Team Chaotix chilling in their detective agency, as Charmy bursts in saying they got work. A mysterious client who only talks through a long-ranged walkie-talkie. He then starts talking about paying handsomely, and well, the Chaotix need money, so they go for it. This begins a series of tests until they become face-to-face with Dr. Eggman. After demolishing his egg hawk, they bolt through to Metropolis and get confronted by Team Dark, being mistaken for rival treasure hunters. Ooh, a showdown with the ultimate life form, and you're not using Sonic. This is going to be really hard.
I'll find Eggman's treasure first.
Annihilate.
There's been a misunderstanding, but I doubt if they'll listen to us.
All right, then let's do it.
Whatever the reason, if they want to fight, I'll kill one.
Fire. Unrelented. Unrelented.
I can let me show you what a real treasure hunter can do.
You won't get off so easily next time.
After that, they go through Casino Park, and their client lets them have some fun while they do some gambling. They also come face to face with Eggman again, and they squash his robots, then destroy mysterious capsules. And then after that, they confront the Egg Albatross, the client somehow knowing that it contains weapons used for transporting. This is odd, as the client even remarks when they find out they're dealing with a fake Eggman that the client already knew it was a fake. They have to keep moving though. After all, their paycheck is on the line. And as Vector said in Grand Metropolis,
We're about to enter Eggman's territory. Are you ready?
Not too late to change your mind.
Why do you think we're here? How else are we gonna make the rent?
in the Lost Jungle, the Chaotix are tasked with rescuing Chow, and they spot one near Team Rose, mistaking Cheese for one of the Chow they have to save. A fierce misunderstanding, and Team Rose has to be super motivated to kick your butt. This has to be epic!
There's gotta be a major misunderstanding, but we can't back down now.
No!
Bye, nice to see my friend. Forgive me, but this is our duty.
They berate each other, realizing their mistake, but the client stops their arguing. Before we begin, I did promise that Team Chaotix had the worst stage of the game. Mystic Mansion, their stage, is the absolute worst. Their task is to blow out every single red torch. All 60 of them. And there's no fast way to do it. You have to use Espio's tornado ability throughout all of it. It is slow. It is tedious. It is boring. However, Team Chaotix confronts Eggman and Vector's lays an insult, which for some reason makes the client upset. However, after they win, they storm the Egg Fleet, and by now you should know what I'm about to repeat again.
You fools must all have a death wish. Witness this invincible battleship built by the hands of a genius. Its power unmatched throughout the universe.
Once we start a job, we finish the job. That's the policy. We're Team Chaotix.
After running through Eggman's flagship, getting the keys they need to loosen the door, and flattening the Egg Emperor, they reveal that there's another fake Eggman, and then make a shocking discovery. Their client is Dr. Eggman himself. However, there's something the good doctor didn't tell them. Eggman doesn't have their money. The Chaotix takes it very well.
I will pay you! Some nerve promising what you ain't got. We've been had. Just wait a minute. Just listen to me.
Take this, you bad man!
Team Chaotix's story is pretty funny, and it's a fun little break from point A to point B gameplay that the other teams were given so far. The story itself is just fun, and I love the twist that their client is Eggman himself, because it perfectly fits to the story. It's a really good twist. If they didn't spoil it so early. Remember when I said the client got upset in Robot Storm? Here's what he said.
There you are, you mustache moron! He's the one, right?
Mustache moron! I'm the world's greatest... Take him out, quickly.
This is gonna cost you extra!
Don't do that! You don't spoil the twist early. It ruins what you were going for. Other than that little big hiccup, though, it's still a fun ride, and I love some of the missions too. However, after you've collected all 7 Chaos Emeralds first, it's time for the last story, spotlighted only by a shadow of a mysterious metal being. After they beat him up, Vector asks why Eggman was locked in the room in the first place. And after Eggman tells them, well, this scene speaks for itself. minor bit of swearing, but holy crap is this freaking awesome! The build-up, the suspense, the monstrosity. I don't care if some of the things were repeated. Just the transformation from Metal Sonic to Metal Overlord is just amazing. It is freaking cool! It turns out this entire time, Metal Sonic was spying on them and getting data. He's gone rogue and decided to defeat Sonic his way. And now it's gone completely rogue and decides to conquer the world in his master's stead. Eggman laments the lack of the Chaos Emeralds not being a plot point in this game, but the others reveal that they have them. Sonic smirks, really saying that, he's got this. After all, he's faced bigger before with Super Sonic. But Tails and Knuckles goes with him, which makes complete sense. They all went Super before in the 2D games. And it's going to be awesome in 3D. The other teams swear they're going to buy Sonic time as Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles get ready to take Metal Sonic down. Of course, Sonic saying the line of infamy.
Okay then, let's get ready to do this. We'll show that creep the real superpower of teamwork!
That cheese never gets old. After the teams take on Metal Sonic's new body, striking at weak points, Metal Sonic transforms and soaring off, claiming to be invincible. What I like is that the fight difficulties varies per team, and it's a kind of fun boss fight. So here we are, the Genesis Era squad. Team Sonic, turning super together one last time. Sonic going supersonic, and Tails, wait, what? Why are they in balls? They have super forms! Sonic Heroes is the reason why I didn't cover the super forms in the other games. Because they didn't amount to much. This is what it amounted to in the end. And that's really, really kind of lame. It's one of the biggest letdowns. However, we go from bad to worse with one of the easiest final boss fights ever. Metal Overlord. First though, the positive. What I'm Made Of is an excellent song. I'll give it this, it's somewhat harder than Perfect Chaos. But I'm not kidding, this boss fight sucks. All you do, and I repeat, all you do is counter his attacks, which are very easy to counter, and build up the Team Blast gauge. Hit him with Team Blast a few times, and then he falls. That's it. That's the entire boss fight. Lame! After Metal Sonic is defeated, though, the teams go their separate ways from now. And our story ends, classically, with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, like games of old, doing a dramatic pose for the camera. The last story is a mixed bag. From a story perspective, it's really good. It's built up very well, rewards the play time and the extra effort, and it's hinted throughout the entire game. If you didn't watch any of the trailers for Sonic Heroes, which spoiled all of it. However, the flaws are too big to ignore. Metal Madness being far better than the supposed true final boss is one of them. The notorious plot hole of Tails and Knuckles not having a super form. And while I still maintain that the worst final Sonic boss is the first one, Metal Overlord is a close contender for me. It's a mixed bag, and Sonic Heroes is a mixed bag of the game. Gameplay-wise, it's fine, but kinda clunky. The special stages work all kinds of annoying, and some of the plot elements aren't really well defined. However, most of the stories are, at worst, okay, and at best, excellent. The build-up to the final story was great. I honestly had a lot of fun to do this. Some say this is the start from Sonic's fall from grace, while others say this is the last good Sonic game. I'm in the latter category. It's good. Well, not nearly as good as others. I say it's pretty good, and I'm glad I covered it. Join us next time, though, as I go through one of my most controversial opinions I have on a game. As we put the blue blur aside, and we talk about the ultimate life form and its mysteries in Shadow the Hedgehog.